everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the 2014-15 CAC Men's Basketball Preseason Webcast. I'm Tim Maurer. On this webcast, the men's basketball coaches around the conference will offer an inside look at their team's prospects for the upcoming year, followed by the unveiling of the preseason coaches poll. The Mary Washington Eagles aim for a repeat CAC title this winter after defeating Christopher Newport in last year's championship game. Mary Washington and Wesley both earned NCAA tournament bids last season, with Wesley advancing to the second round and Mary Washington making a deep run to the Elite Eight. Now let's take a look at what's in store around the CAC this season.
Yeah, we're very excited. We have 3 starters back from last season. We had an excellent season, 19-9, great run to the conference championship, and so we're just trying to build on that. We have a lot of young players. I think a huge goal for us is to find a way to be playing our best in January and February as we hit the capital season. So we have 14 freshmen and sophomores, and so we have a lot of things that we hope to accomplish, but we're also understanding this is going to be a process, and we're going to have to be patient and as best we can, take our time, do things right, and put ourselves in the best position we can come the Capital Athletic Conference Championship season. We have a couple huge ones. We lost 2 seniors in Trey Benefield, who was a 4-year starter for us, 5th all-time leading scorer, just a tremendous player, tremendous leader. Was really carried us last year in conference play. We're going to miss him greatly. He came back in our alumni game and picked up where he left off and hurt us there too. So we're going to miss him across the board. And Luca Tangana was a senior for us last season, and he really stepped up in conference play off the bench and was a huge contributor and leader for us. So those 2 guys are going to be missed greatly. Additionally, we lose Matt Murphy, who battled foot injuries last year and this year and decided to focus on his health, so he's not going to play this season. And Evan Thorpe, who was a starter for us last season, will not be returning this season. So we do have some holes to fill, and I think this early part of this season in our non-conference schedule is going to really show us exactly how we're going to fill those voids. We're fortunate we have a great senior, and Mike Cherry is our only senior, but he's a great one. He's been an all-league player his first 3 seasons. We're going to really depend on him on both sides of the ball. He's a terrific player and really come into his own as a leader, so we're excited about his leadership. Also, Connor Laframbois and Hunter Weatherall, 2 juniors. We're expecting great things from those guys, and we have, as I mentioned, 14 freshmen and sophomores, many who are very talented, very eager, very committed. And Tim Daly started most games for us last year at center. All the rest of the guys are going to be battling and competing for those spots. And I think it's going to be, I think our depth will be as good as it's been, and our energy level will be very high. And we have 7 freshmen and 1 transfer. Marcel Simon, who's a twin brother of Maurice Simon, who's a sophomore for us, will be joining us. He transferred from University of Texas Penn American, and we're very excited that he'll be joining our team. And we have 7 very talented freshmen. To point any out at this point would be a little premature. Every single one of them is talented. Every single one is athletic, committed, working hard, doing the right things, and I believe every one will contribute at some point this year. So, as our depth, energy, enthusiasm, all those things which we're going to need throughout the course of a long season, I think all of those freshmen are going to provide for us. We're very excited about it. Yeah, once again, we've challenged ourselves with a non-conference schedule that we feel is very strong. We open up with Randolph-Macon right off the bat. They're a top 10 team in the country with 7 or 8 seniors that have had a lot of success. So right off the bat, we have the opportunity to test ourselves against a great program. You know, we also are going to play some other ODAC teams who did very well last season, Washington and Lee, Lynchburg College, Haverford College up in Pennsylvania will be playing. And then after final exams, we have Virginia Wesleyan here, who everybody knows is really one of the class programs in Division III. So we have challenged ourselves, and we're hopeful that those games are going to prepare us for the Capital Athletic Conference, which was arguably the best men's basketball conference in Division III last year. We had 4 teams ranked in the top 25 at one point, and I don't expect it to drop. I think it's only going to continue to improve and be deeper, and you have some tremendous coaches, some long-standing traditions of excellence in basketball, some great venues, and now we're building some really good rivalries. So it's going to be a tough season, and we're looking forward to the challenge. I think whoever stands atop of the Capital, as has been shown over the last few years, is battle-tested and ready to compete nationally at a high level, and we're hopeful that that'll be the captains.
We want to compete. We want to be much better defensively than we've been in the past. We want to shoot the ball better, and we want to play unselfishly. And we think we've addressed all those things through the fact that some of our returning players made a huge commitment in the spring and the summer to get better. And also some of the recruits that we've brought in, we think have very good skills, came from successful programs. So we're very excited. We're going to be a much, much different team from last year. We had 3 seniors. Aaron Bellamy started most of the games at the point guard. Brian Bisco backed him up. And Robert Williams probably started half a dozen games and was a key player at the 4 or 5 spot. So they were our 3 seniors that we lost off last year's team. Key returners. Jabari Kamal, 4th-year player, has improved every year. Very coachable kid, hard worker, can play forward or the post for us. James Peters, 2nd year in our program, came to us from Howard Community College, 6'3" left-handed wing. He was our best offensive player last year, but unfortunately was hurt off and on all season long. Only actually started 10 games. The 10 games he started, he averaged 25 points a game. He's healthy now and playing very well. Nick Smoot, who missed a month of the season last year with mono, he's gained some weight. He's playing very well in preseason. Tyler Campbell, 6'5", post player, 2nd year in the program, in a little bit better shape this year, is playing well. And then David Patrick, who sat out last year with some knee issues. This is his 3rd year in the program as a point guard. So those are the key guys that are returning. Key newcomers, probably led by Jarrell Carter, junior college transfer, 6'3", which is pretty big at our level for a point guard. Can really play, pushes the ball up and down the floor in transition. Also a very good defender, extremely unselfish. Had a great high school career, his junior and senior year in high school at Madison County High School in Virginia. They lost 1 game, won back-to-back state championships. Had a great career at Hagerstown Community College. We look for him to get a lot of playing time and be a leader for us. 2 local players, Tyler Michael and Dalton Goss, who both played at Fort Hill High School. They're both very fundamentally sound, play with a lot of energy. They both can shoot the ball well. They will both get a lot of playing time. And then Zachary Colburn from Gaithersburg High School, who's a 6'7", 6'8", left-handed post player. He, we thought he'd be a little raw, and he's probably surprised us. He's playing much better than we expected him to play this early. Soaks up everything we throw out to him. So those are and Ryan Lynch would be one other new player, 6'3" forward, who can also play a little bit of point if we want to. Very good shooter. Our schedule, we have 18 CAC games, so we only play 7 non-conference games. Probably the 2 toughest non-conference opponents we have are Randolph-Macon, who we play down there on Thanksgiving Sunday, who they're always in the top 25. Very, very good program, storied history. Catholic University we've got here early in the year. They've always, I think they won 16, 17 games last year. They'll be very tough. We're playing in Hood's holiday tournament. I believe Easton Mennonite, Hood, and Piedmont College are in that. Then our conference schedule, CAC is a tough league. Mary Washington should be very good again. Christopher Newport should be very good. Wesley will be very competitive, although they lost a couple of key players through graduation. Salisbury's got a lot of kids back. They're going to be very competitive. Marymount's got a lot of people back. They're going to be competitive. I haven't mentioned everybody, but the entire league, top to bottom, is extremely competitive. So it's a tough schedule.
Our goals this year and expectations for the upcoming season are just that we get better every day. That right now we're such a new group that we're just trying to improve daily in practice and hope that we can grow with the upcoming scrimmages and non-conference games to get ourselves prepared for the tough conference schedule that we have. A lot of key losses from last year. Pretty much 4 of the 5 starters. Dom Mora was big for them last season, along with Dylan Farranet, Bradley Reister, and Dejan Daniel, all very key losses to our program. Key returners, for us, it's pretty simple. It's one, Taylor Johnson. He'll be a senior for us, our lone senior. Newcomers, it's yet to be determined on exactly what each can do. I know we have some key guys with some experience. We have 2 sophomores in Brent Mahoney and Matt Forrest that are new to this program, but will be sophomores overall, and some key pieces we think. But being new to the program, it's just kind of a work in progress right now. We have a very difficult schedule ahead of us. We don't have any favors. We're done with the scheduling, but we pretty much play an ODAC non-conference schedule. The opening weekend with Lynchburg and Randolph-Macon. We'll have to travel down to Virginia Wesleyan right before the holiday. And that goes right in line with a very tough conference schedule that night in and night out will be very competitive.
Goals would be to finish in the top half of the CAC. I think that it's kind of an expectation at this point. We finally have a senior class with several guys who have played 75+ college games. We have a kind of continuity now with classes as well. So we have a junior class that has played, a sophomore class that has played in the system, and we have a balanced freshman class as well. So I don't think there's any reason why we can't have the same kind of success we had last year and even build on it, and hopefully be in position for a postseason bid, an NCAA or ECAC bid. Reed Scott was our only loss, but a key one. He, I think, was either second or led the league in rebounding, and you could almost write him in the scorebook for 14 and 8. So that's a pretty good feeling as a coach. But with him gone. And I believe a lot of the times last year for most of the season last year, we were first in the league in rebounding. And a lot of that was because of him. So we have to rebound more by committee this year. But we have some guys who didn't get to play last year who are healthy now, who I think will really help us. So, Reed being a really only but very key loss, we're going to try and find a way to, to fill that void. Our key returners this year are our senior class, especially. We have 3 guys who have played in a lot of college basketball games. Jesse Conadu, who was the freshman of the year 3 years ago, is finally healthy again. Antonio Rouse, who has been in some top 5 categories statistically throughout his career, is back. And J.C. Hollick, who had a very good year last year, is back as well. And Tim Briscoe, who has been a really steadying force off the bench, a glue guy for us, is back, along with Brett Reffner. And so I think we have a really good nucleus of guys who have played a lot of college basketball games. Our juniors, Colin Burkhart, who played a lot for us last year, is back. And Mike Anderson, who at some point, I believe about a third of the way through the year last year, started for us at the point, is a sophomore now and is back. So those guys have a lot of experience under their belt and have all gotten better over the summer, and I hope will show that they've gotten better and utilize all the experience that they have this year for us. We have 6 newcomers this year, and they're pretty balanced in terms of position, and they're all pretty talented, and they had good high school careers, and they're from all over the place. So we're kind of meshing them or trying to blend them into the guys that we have, and they all actually have a chance to play. I mean, they're all talented enough, and again, they're all spaced out positionally that if they do what they need to do, if they defend and they're in shape, they all have a chance to play. DJ Stockman, Dimitri Rucker, Alex Danko, Matt Kelly, Jeff Rhodes, Isaiah Grigsby, they all have a chance to help us out at some point during the year. Some guys earlier rather than later, but all at some point. Hopefully they'll do something for us that impacts our program. Our non-conference schedule this year, I'm excited about. We have a really good tip-off field. We're tipping off. We have Roanoke in the opener, and the other 2 teams are Rhode Island College and SUNY Brockport, who were both NCAA teams last year. So it's a really good tip-off for us, and the games should be very competitive. We're going to Daytona for our other tournament right before Christmas, and we're playing Roanoke again, actually, so we're going to have a 2-game series with those guys, and then Maryville from Tennessee, who's very talented and athletic. So I think both tournaments will be good. We're playing Shenandoah, a team from Southern Vermont that's made up of mostly Maryland kids from Maryland. So they're progressively getting better in their league. As far as the league schedule goes, last year we had 4 teams. I think 5 at times, maybe mostly 4 during the year that were ranked in the top 25. So the CAC, there are no bad teams in the CAC. Every night you have to show up. York was young last year. They're going to still be young, but I mean those guys have experience. They have talent. It's a really balanced league, and there are no nights off in the Capital Athletic Conference. So it'll be a grind the whole way through.
One of our primary objectives right now is for our guys to get better each and every day. We have some experience returning in players like Joe Farthing, Marquise Daniels, Winton Lyle, Josh Johnson, but we also have some newcomers as well. Eric Sedini is a guy that's rejoined our team. Larry McNeil is a freshman from Monroe City, Pennsylvania. Tariq Bennett is another freshman from Milton Hershey High School by way of Philadelphia. And Nick Seafelt is another one of our newcomers by way of Central Dauphin High School. So with so many new faces and some guys we're going to be counting on, our key right now is to get our guys to understand our system, that they play with each other and really play together is one of the key things. And it's really take this thing day by day, step by step, that we get better and we're making progress as a group. You have to look first at the loyalty and the commitment that Kenny Stone and Will Doyle gave to our program, day in and day out. Their contributions cannot be measured merely on statistics, wins, losses, performance. It was really unquantifiable. Both those guys were so helpful to me to help set the tone, plot the direction, and deliver the message of where our vision was going. So although those guys have gone on and graduated, Ken's now doing very well here in the area. Actually, he's gotten into coaching at Elizabethtown College, and Will is finishing up his degree requirements because of his transfer to Penn State. Where this program is headed is the footprint that those two young men left on this program. Although it didn't culminate in a championship last year, I believe we're in the right direction. Just in terms of the culture here now. The weight room, the preseason conditioning, the study halls, attention to detail, accountability to our program, accountability to each other. Really, you know, the change was really getting our guys to understand. Committed to Penn State, committed to Penn State basketball, committed to ourselves. We want to build strong men in the classroom, strong men in the community, strong men on the basketball floor, so that they continue to operate as strong men long after they graduate at Penn State Harrisburg. Joe Farthing is a guy that's going to have to play an instrumental role for us in a lot of ways. He's going to have to provide leadership on the court. He's going to have to control our locker room. He's going to be the guy that's going to get the opponent's top offensive threat night in and night out. Our point guard play last year, Will Doyle came in and really saved us at the end of the year and got us stabilized. There's no more Will Doyle. It's going to clearly fall on the shoulders of Marquise Daniels and Nick Seafelt. Daniels has a leg up right now because he knows the system. And for us to do what we need to do, Marquise is going to have to function day in and day out on the court, knowing what I want, knowing what this team needs to be successful, and knowing what his game is capable of doing. If Marquise can do those things, and Nick Seafelt can do those things as he learns what we're trying to do, along with Dante Vaughn, another freshman that's in that mix, I think then our backcourt, that's going to be a strength of ours in time to come. But it's the most important position on our floor, and we're going to have to demand those guys their best day in and day out. We're in a really, really good basketball conference, the CAC. And when I look around our league and I see guys like Chris Harney, I see guys like Coach Cabosa at Wesley, Matty Hunter down at York, Coach Rogers at Marymount. There's a lot of really good coaches. Josh Merkel at Salisbury. These are all good, young, up-and-coming guys that have done wonderful jobs with their programs. So not only is our league really, really talented, there's really, really good coaches in that league. So night in and night out, it's going to be a battle, and one that we're going to really have to rise to the occasion to play at to be competitive in that league. The non-league schedule for us, again, we start off our first annual Penn State Harrisburg tip-off tournament presented by Hershey Park. We bring in City College in New York out of the CUNY League, along with York College of New York comes in here, two really good New York City teams, along with McDaniel. So we're gonna get two really stiff tests early on that way, and then we're gonna play some regional teams that we have great respect for. Susquehanna University comes down to the Cub here right before Thanksgiving. We travel to Lebanon Valley and take up with them. And for our kids, we're going to spend time down at the United States Naval Academy the night before Thanksgiving. We're going to play a Division I game against Navy and the midshipmen. And I want our kids to be able to go on to one of the most prestigious campuses in this country, and certainly the mission that they are about down there. My program, my players, and our fans will have a great amount of respect going in there, and we look forward to being able to do that. that with our guys.
excited about the season. We want to have, and we're looking forward to, being competitive in each game and staying healthy. We've kind of set our goals almost to like a game-by-game basis. We try not to look down the road and just look at what's in front of us take care of what's in front of you. Well, we lost a lot of good players. We lost Kyle Wise, Brendan McFall, Christopher Hutchinson, and Don Hill for really quality players that gave us a lot of offense and defense, and they did a lot for us. And Don Hill was here for 2 years, but aside from him, those other guys won a lot of games for us over the years. So that they left a big hole in our program when they left. And so we're looking to fill those spots. So we lost a lot, but we take pride in developing our younger guys, and we're excited about some of the younger guys that are coming up. That it's kind of now it's their time to kind of fill those spots. Nick Laguerre obviously is back. He's some I consider our best player, and he's looks great. He's in great shape, and he's excited to get into conference play. Get into the season, I should say. And then we have some new players that we're looking to fill spots with. Again, some of those younger guys that maybe had a lesser role last year, we're looking to step up. Ryan Grant, Lee Jordan, or some of those. We also have some new players that are coming in, a couple transfers, Tanner Brooks, Garrett Snoops, who we think will really provide some scoring punch and toughness. And then we have some freshmen, incoming freshmen, Marcellus Hurley and Isaiah Martin, that have looked good early on in practice, and we'll hopefully find their spot in our rotation somehow. We've played. I've always tried to have the toughest schedule possible, and I really believe because the CAC is such a great conference that you've got to play a tough non-conference schedule. So. Once again, I've loaded it up. We'll be visiting Eastern Mennonite, who is a really strong team out of the ODAC. We'll be playing Bridgewater, another team out of the ODAC. Both teams have a lot of returners and are predicted to be very good this year. Widener up in Philly is also picked to be in the top of their league. All these games will be on the road. So we have pretty tough another tough non-conference schedule. We'll be traveling to Medaille up in Buffalo, and they're coming off of 18-20 win season, and they return most of their team. So it's another loaded schedule, non-conference, and then of course once we get into conference play, it's every night is a battle. Whether it's Wesley, Mary Washington, Salisbury, York. Every school in the league is tough. So as far as scheduling goes, we know we got our work cut out for us, and our plan is to take it one game at a time.
Our goals and expectations are, number one, to enjoy the process, to continue to get better. I know coaches use that a lot. It sounds like a cliche, but it really is. We're not limiting ourselves, putting ourselves in a box. We need to build on some of the success we had late last year. Number one, as far as how we play, we want to play fast and not beat ourselves. In other words, we want to play fast but not turn the ball over at the same time. So goal being to take great care of the basketball is number one for us. But also, we want to put pressure on teams and attack early and play fast like we started to last year. The expectation, I think, is to take another step forward each and every year. Just the understanding. We have a great group. We have a great chemistry. The unity is there. Our conditioning has been better. the expectation is to be champions. And so, that's a destination. There's a lot of work to do along the way, and that's how we're looking at it. Our key losses are obviously Tim Harwood, who was an exceptional shooter and a gym rat, and a guy that we could count on late in games and never shied away from the moment, from taking big shots and making big plays for us. Brandon Wilkerson was a great three-point shooter, a very good defender for us on the ball. And then Dominic Milburn, who came on really strong, second team All-CAC, did a lot of things very well. He could shoot. He was 38%, I believe, from three. He could really pass, and he was a great creator, rebounder, could defend bigger guys for us. So all three of those guys started, and but we've had guys that have gotten better playing against those guys every day in practice. But the challenge will be to see who steps up. There's a lot of minutes now, and we think we have guys that are going to step into those roles nicely. Our key returners are, you start at the point guard position, very important, and having a senior that's been in our program now for 3 years, Connor Strickland, is doing a great job. From a vocal leadership standpoint, understanding of how we play. He's got coach's son. He has a great basketball IQ. He's been shooting it great. Continues to build on. He was a 40% three-point shooter last year. So expecting big things from him. He's always looking to get others involved and make others better. Charles Porter, who had a great freshman year, got to the foul line as much as anyone in our league. We want him to continue to be aggressive, but also some of the decision-making, take a step there and get better when it comes to that. Shoot even better from the free throw line. But CP has worked hard on his shot this summer. He's shooting it well from three. Justin Whitmer, key newcomer, that came on late last year. Very good shooter, shooting the ball very well. Also good driving it to the basket. Gordon Jeter, obviously, had a strong freshman year. He's gotten even better. The way he's finishing, the way he's rebounding, the way he's playing with confidence and shooting the ball with confidence is huge. And guys like Kyle Savercool, Kyle is playing as well as anybody on our team, shooting the ball well, just playing with a lot of confidence. And I'm expecting him to kind of fill that role that Dom maybe played last year. I think he's excited about the challenge and those minutes that are ahead. And then also Jacoy Gillum and Ryan Miller. Both of those guys have come back in better shape. Both of those guys have worked on their game, you can tell, worked on their skills. Ryan's playing with a lot of confidence, shooting the ball well, and Jacoy, who stayed here all summer, has really expanded his finishing skills, and the things that he can do on the court are really going to help. Our key newcomers are, and it remains to be seen, certain guys have been a little bit injured, but Wyatt Smith from Hartford Community College is another coach's son who can do a lot of things well. He's a rebounder, he can shoot, he can score, he can defend, he's a good passer and creator for guys. So he brings a lot of things to the table. Excited about seeing Wyatt mesh with our group of guys. Bobby Bates has really shot the ball well so far in practice. Rocky Harris, who is nursing a hamstring injury, has really shot the ball well for us. And then Justin May is another strong shooter that is a capable driver as well. So we've got some guys that are going to be pushing. Those are all transfers. One freshman that has stood out is Jordan Brooks, very good finisher, driver, and defender, athletic defender. Well, starting with our non-conference, we've always wanted to schedule aggressively. We continue to play the series with Virginia Wesleyan because I think it helps us improve and prepares us for an unbelievable league schedule. Playing UMES, we've always tried to schedule up. It's a game that our guys are excited about, that challenge of testing themselves against the very best that they can. Dickinson coming to our tournament. We think we have a really strong field for the Optimist tournament, and with Valley Forge and Bryn Athyn coming in here, we're excited about those caliber of teams testing us right off the bat. And then we're going to Randolph-Macon for a classic to play Baruch and Wisconsin Carroll. Two teams that won 18-plus games last year that are very good programs. You do those things to prepare yourself for an unbelievable CAC. We have great coaches in our league. I say it every year, but coaches that are out working to find the best players that they can get. The league didn't turn over much, so we didn't turn over a ton. We lost 3 guys, but within the top teams in the league, most of them turned over even less. Marymount loses 1. St. Mary's lost a couple. Wesley loses 1 key player, but 1 player, and then Christopher Newport loses 1 key player. But those guys in other teams have reloaded, and every game is a dogfight. It's exciting to know that every game that you go into, you have to play your absolute best to come out on top. And our guys thrive and relish that challenge, and it only makes you better. Playing against best competition can bring out the best in you when you approach it with the right mindset, and our guys are excited about the challenge.
Our goals and expectations are to represent Southern Virginia University in the best way possible. And I think for our group, that starts with the kind of young men that we're building. We like to serve in the community. We want to be leaders academically in the university as far as grades go and things, and we have been in the past. And then we'd also like to get back to our winning ways. We had 6 winning seasons before last season, and we'd like to get back to our winning ways and qualify for our first ever Capital Athletic Conference tournament. We have 3 starters back. The year before we didn't have any. So Wes Evans, senior captain. We're excited to have Wes. He gives a lot of leadership. Preston Eaton, a senior at guard who was 3rd in the Capital Athletic Conference last year in scoring. And Ben Canavary in the post, who's also currently playing football. So we don't have him too much for practices right now, but we hope he'll be ready. We have a good number of a little bit older players this year, junior college transfers. I'll start with Kevin Walker. Kevin played at Big Bend Community College in Washington. He's going to play the point for us. He's a real competitor, just a great kid. David Beatty played at Central Wyoming Community College the last couple of years, and he'll play mostly on the wing for us. Kaleo Manuela and Kyle Dragnich both played at Hartnell College in California. Kaleo will play in the post, and Kyle at the different guard positions. And we have a couple other newcomers that have been in college but hadn't played yet too much. Scott Edwards and Michael Newfield that I think can give us some positive contributions as well. And then we have some nice freshmen. We've got Austin Wood, we've got Taylor Larson, Cale Thornton, a number of others, nice freshmen that I think can come in and give us a real boost. Aaron Rumbaugh from Washington is another one. Well, the schedule is difficult just because the conference is so tough. 18 of our 25 games are in the conference. That's almost 3/4 of our games, so it's a pretty tough schedule. But we play mostly the non-league schedule against ODAC competition, which is a real solid conference just like ours. And so I think it'll help us to get ready. In preseason, we've got teams like Washington Lee and Eastern Mennonite, and then we're going down to Roanoke's tournament. We play Bridgewater. There's some real solid teams, and then of course we have the BYU trip. So, that's going to definitely be a challenge. I think they're a real close group. The other day we did a little service activity for some of the youth in the area, had a little basketball clinic, and it was really exciting to see the team plan that clinic and invite the kids out and how they worked with the kids, and they're a real close group and really seem to like each other.
season last year, and I think we want to kind of build on that if possible. It's going to be a little more difficult with the loss of course, David Lang, our All-American, and two other key players, Eric Selby and Brandon Youngblood. The two of them, along with David, the leadership was fantastic. And those guys just really liked each other and made it a tremendous year for us. I think the four returning guys that we have, they've got a lot of experience. Anthony Bowers, A.J. Tillman, Quincy Pettifer, and Wayne Lennon. We have a good nucleus. The key is going to be some of the new people coming in that are very young and how fast they can develop and back to the college style of game. In our conference, every night's going to be a battle. We have so many tremendous teams. I think last year at one point we had 4 teams nationally ranked in the top 20, along with CNU and Mary Wash and St. Mary's. So it's a great conference with great battles and great coaches. So we're going to have our hands full. Well, Anthony Bowers and A.J. Tillman will be starting at the guards for us, the 1 and the 2. Both have tremendous athletic ability, very quick. They're working harder and getting stronger. Wayne Lennon, who was freshman All-American 2 years ago, I think has really stepped up his game and really put a lot of work in the off-season in New Jersey and has come back looking stronger and better. And our senior leader, Quincy Pettifer, he is one we've got to have a big year. He has a lot of talent, and I think he's just starting to realize how talented he is, and he's starting to work much harder than he has in the past. They're going to be the 4 keys right there. Well, freshman from last year, Evan Zimmerman, has put in a lot of time and really developed his game. I think he's going to be a big help. Dante Jones, who transferred in from the junior college in South Carolina, has a tremendous upside. He's a little bit older, so he's got nice leadership skills for our kids. We have 3 Delaware kids, Jordan Johnson, Shilia Ringo, and Ja'Kai Fletcher, that are pretty well skilled. The question is, how fast can they pick up with them? And then we have a point guard from New Jersey, Chris Scott, that's been showing some really good signs of leadership and can shoot the ball fairly well. So, as you can see, we've got about 5 or 6 guys that, depending on how they do, I think it's going to be depending on where we go.
Our expectations are very simple, to improve every single day. We don't focus on what kind of everybody else focuses on, scoreboards and records, and that's for everybody outside of our program. But within our program, we focus on day-to-day, improving, drill to drill. How do we make ourselves better, and how do we make our team better each and every day? We graduated 3 seniors that over the last couple of years, my first couple of years here, had played a lot of minutes for us. Matt McNeely inside, Mike Matthews on the wing. Those 2 guys are our 2 leading scorers and leading rebounders. And B.J. Yank also played on the wing and played a lot of minutes for us last year. We had a huge freshman class last year. Those guys got a lot of experience, and they're all back. Dalton Myers was having an incredible freshman year before an injury kind of derailed what probably would have been Rookie of the Year campaign for him. So he's back. Joey Feinberg, starting point guard, back. Brad Wesner averaged double digits the last 6 or 7 games of the year. So, from an outside perspective, I guess you would say those 3 guys are the key returners. Yeah, it's another big class, and 3 guys that have kind of stuck out at the beginning here would be Mike Duffy from Southwestern High School, Zach Galick from Cedar Cliff High School, and Matt Scamuffo from Central Bucks South. Our schedule is brutal. It's naturally that way playing inside the CAC. We have one of the best leagues in the entire country, so 18 games a year you get tested that way. And outside we haven't really backed down. We're still playing really good tournaments, going to Catholic, playing Catholic in the first round, and hopefully get a shot at Guilford in the second round. Coming to our tournament, we have Lebanon Valley and Johns Hopkins, Keuka from up in New York. And then we have our annual battles with Gettysburg and Messiah. And this year we're headed to Misericordia as well, which will be one of the best teams in the Freedom Conference. So just like every other year, its schedule's loaded, and we just look forward to testing ourselves. It's a really young group. We have 15 players on our roster. 14 of them are freshmen or sophomores, and the junior is younger than some of our sophomores. So it's just a year where we continue to build and establish the foundation for who we are as a program and what we stand for. And we stick to the idea of the process and getting better every single day. And if we're the same team in March when we sit down and talk that we are now, then we haven't really done our job. But I would really think that we're really going to blossom here in the next several months. Our young guys working together, you know, when you have freshmen and sophomores, usually those guys are the ones, they're still trying to figure out who the man is. And it's kind of a daily head-butting contest in practice. And we haven't had that. It's a very cohesive group that works very well together. We have a tremendous team spirit, and we come every day to work, and it's competitive, but it's not stupid. Our guys are working together. They know what the ultimate goal is, and they understand that there is sacrifice that's involved in that.
The men's basketball season tips off this Saturday, November 15th, with 9 of the 10 conference teams in action throughout the opening weekend. Thanks for tuning in to the 2014-15 CAC Men's Basketball Preseason Webcast. Check back to cacsports.com throughout the year for all of your men's basketball news around the conference.